So you've really done like the rounds of Toronto shooting shows lately. You've been on like every show that shoots here.
Yeah, I've been lucky, man. I've had a really good summer. Things have been really good.
I was talking last season, so you've been continuing on doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I thought you were like up to date, man.
No, the IMDb page only goes so far. It doesn't have what you've done recently.
That's true.
I have a lot of interviews this week.
That's true. I hear you. No, things have been really good over the last year, over the last few weeks, over the last month. It's been great. I've been shooting a lot of things. So it's
can you talk about any of them? Can you?
Yeah. I have a nice little guest bit that I've done on Suits over the last little while,
Nice.
which should be airing shortly. I was working on a new ABC series called Lucky 7, which I guess will air in
it's a new one,
September.
yeah.
The new one. So I think that's Steven Spielberg's attached to it in some way, shape, or form. Have you heard of that guy?
No.
He's got a lot of potential. That
Really?
guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't
Keep your eyes
say.
open.
I think he likes aliens.
First, folks.
Yeah.
Spielberg. You've heard it here first. So yeah, I mean, but things have been great. Things have been really good.
Does the success of a show like this help you? It must help you land other gigs.
No, it's solely based on my talent. Solely based on my talent, my
It is.
stunning
Absolutely.
good looks.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, I think it opens some doors for you. I think inevitably it has to, right? If they see that you've worked on a show, the show's received some critical acclaim, and you haven't messed it up, then hopefully you're competent enough to come in and not mess up their show. So, I've gone forward with that, and things have been okay.
What I really find always interesting about acting is you're doing, like you said, doing a bunch of shows right now, jumping from Suits to this ABC show to back to this show in a few weeks, months, probably something like that. Mm-hmm. How do you go from character to character? Like, how do you get out, especially when you play a character like this for 13 episodes or for a little while? How do you get out of that character?
Sometimes you look forward to it. You're playing a character like Art, who's fantastic. I love Art to death. But as an actor, you thrive on that. You thrive on finding different parts of your own personality and finding weird things in someone who you see in a line at the grocery store and saying that would be cool to play, whether it's on stage or on screen. And when someone says, "Hey, we'd like you to come and do that," you say, "Fantastic, let's jump on it." And for me, it helps me be a complete person. Do you know what I mean? I get to be less than kind and less than generous in my work so that I can be a better husband and father, at home. So I love it.
What do you dig about this character?
About Art?
Yeah. I mean, I know it's probably pilot season, you got a big show, you were like excited to get the show, but now that you've lived with the character a little longer.
On a really basic level, I love being a cop. It's the childhood dream, right? To walk around with a gun and kick down doors and chase baddies and hop over fences and stuff like that. That's what every little boy dreams about, other than being a hockey player in Canada, right?
Yeah, of course.
So on that level, that's what's fantastic for me. But Art is complex, and he can be easily dismissed as a guy who's just sort of surly and is sort of self-centered, more concerned about his own welfare. But in order to sort of get that out there, there's a whole lot else. There's a whole lot of other things that are going on beneath the surface that you got to think about, and a storyline that you got to sort of build, and hopefully we get a chance to flesh that out in seasons 2 through 30. Yeah, you never know.
All right. Has any show ever done it besides like Meet the Press?
The Simpsons is
The
on like
Simpsons.
season 48,
Right,
man.
Right.
So, exactly. So who knows? I mean, we'll see. But he's complex, and complex characters are always the most fun to play.
Do you think about him in the off season? Like, are you still processing like how you want to portray him?
Always, because you go back and you watch the episodes that you shot, and you break them down on a technical level.
You go back, you're able to watch yourself.
Absolutely.
And you're not overly critical, or are you?
I'm hypercritical.
Yeah.
Which is why I should stop. And my wife says, stop watching the episodes. But you do, and you break it down and say, okay, did I get that? Did I miss that? Is there something I missed? And there are things inevitably, and you have to forgive yourself. That's part of the job too. If not, you drink more than you already.
I don't know why I'm laughing. It's a horrible thing. It happens to a lot of people.
No, but you know,
right.
you can really beat yourself up. But that goes to any walk of life. If you overanalyze and are hypercritical of yourself to a point of self-destruction, it's bad. So I just watch and I hope to learn from what I see and learn from my other castmates, which is huge for me. I learned so much from Tatiana and Jordan, just sort of the ease with which they convey, objectives and things that they want in particular scenes, and hopefully things will get better. But so far so good. It's been great.
Speaking of playing off them, do you do accents? Do you have other voices?
Oh God, accents are kryptonite to me.
Okay,
man.
never mind then.
If I do, no. There will be no accent clones for me, not in the near future. Not without a lot of therapy.
All right, I was hoping to get a wop babaloo out of you, but I'm not going to ask you that. No, so you did play Little Richard back in the day.
I did.
And I was just talking to the co-creators here about John Lennon's tooth. There's a big news story yesterday. So a Canadian bought John Lennon's tooth, and he wants to try and clone Lennon now. Mm-hmm. So having played one of Lennon's contemporaries, I don't know how I'm trying to seg this way in, cloning John Lennon, good or bad?
Forget about John Lennon.
Okay, cloning humans, good or bad?
Cloning human. I don't know. I'm not comfortable with the notion of people playing God. And that my mom and dad will be happy to hear that. That goes right back to the religious, background as a kid. But I think there's just some things you can play with on television, but I don't know if you should really mess with in real life.
That's a good closer, man. Thank you.
Hey.
But no, we got to do that. Well, we can. We could. Oh, that's nice.
No, we just got to do the.
I just want to.
There we go. Or we could do the.
Oh.